One of the popes, I didn't write down his name, was really trying to turn the church around and change that. So I hope people will not be overwhelmed and think this is a catastrophe. We have to do our bit in whatever we can do, including all the prayer, and realize that this has been going on since Christ's time. Every now and then there's an era of difficulty. Everybody has to do their bit. Every generation has to work at being Catholic. It's not handed on to us and we don't have to work at it. I think we all need to realize we do whatever we're responsible for. Receiving the sacraments, and I have a big thing right now that I'm trying to encourage people to read Catholic literature. I'm thinking of the Pilot newspaper in our archdiocese. It's about $40 a year to get. But there's another wonderful national newspaper called the National Catholic Register. Maybe you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's $50 a year. It comes every 2 weeks. Some people would say, oh, that's too much reading, I don't want to do that. Well, maybe it can kind of get one for the family, and a lot of you could read it. It doesn't have to be just for one person. But it's also a source of books. You would not believe the amount of books that are available that are interesting about the church and the saints and lay people writing, not just the clergy writing these books. So I hope this is an opportunity to encourage you to read, to see what you can. Don't feel that you go to Mass, you sit, you listen, and go home. And I have another thing that I'm complaining about lately. People have got the idea that they go to Mass and that's a stage up there. And they're entertained like TV, and then they go home. Well, that's not what it is at all. It's not a stage. It's not a performance. So if you can get some good books and reading on the Mass, it will help you feel more involved in it. And it will also help you address people that have come away from the church, the lukewarm Catholics. And try to remember that when we were baptized, we immediately became missionaries. Even though we were babies, we were missionaries because the seed was planted. Every one of the Catholics is required to be a missionary. They'll do it in their own household, in their neighborhood, in their job. They don't have to put on a habit and go across to Africa. It's quite a responsibility. Every Catholic is a missionary. Let's see.
Got any closing thoughts?
Oh, how much time? Am I over?
Yeah, you kind of did.
I'll say it real quick. Okay, I got carried away here. Let's see. Let us rise gloriously higher in the things of the Spirit, in the army of the Virgin most humble. Let us pray for religious freedom and remember we don't have to be politicians to function in the Legion. We are among friends here. We have been guided by my fellow officers. I have been guided by my fellow officers and learned gradually in the process of assisting them. We will be reaching out soon to the state of Maine in extension and recruiting. There have been many opportunities to exercise readiness to accept situations, especially in my particular parish. We had a great renovation similar to the cathedral, but in my church they were doing many things. Very inconvenient for the Legion. We had to give up our room, we had to use a lot of stairs. So there are many opportunities to exercise readiness to accept situations, especially the disabled, and as I mentioned, the renovations in our curia. So thank you very much for listening and for coming.